Hello!
Hey, welcome to Tall Tales, Short Tales.
Excuse me. Sorry. That's where we're at. My name is Nora Panahi, and my co-host is
Isabella O'Connell.
Oh my gosh, Isabella, how are you?
I'm dying, man. I got my second shot today, and my body is fighting off that COVID. Oh, I'm gonna be immune, but right now,
I'm so proud of you. Your microchip is settling in well.
Sorry?
I said your microchip is settling in well, you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I feel like I will be making no more decisions very soon, and it's quite a relief.
Thank God.
How are you, my friend?
I'm great. I'm doing well. I've had a great weekend. It's my sister's birthday tomorrow, which is also Easter, which is exciting. A little biblical birthday going on. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to tell some spring stories. I'm ready for things to get a little bit warmer. I'm done with wearing beanies in April, you know. It's just not ideal.
I've already done the shorts mistake a couple times where you try to will weather to match your outfit, and I have no regrets.
Now, okay, spring started on March 21st, right? That's the first day of spring, which means that I start wearing my Birkenstocks on March 21st because it's spring. So regardless of how cold it is, it's spring, and I will wear them until it gets warm out.
That's the calendar. It's a fact. There's subjective truths and objective truths, and you are objectively on the physical calendar. I'm looking up at this like Lord of the Rings calendar. I wish it was my old wolf calendar, but it doesn't look like it's wavering at all. I think you can trust the Birkenstocks boundary.
I mean, just like the little groundhog on Groundhog Day, you know, sees his shadow and there's more weeks of winter. If I see my Birkenstocks, it's more weeks of spring.
I knew that bitch was lying this year. He said it would be the long winter, and it didn't smell right to me. I felt like maybe you don't get this spring thing that's about to happen this year, Phil. Maybe your time's done. So I'm going to trust the Birkenstock rule over the groundhog stuff any day.
Well, speaking of groundhogs, they're rodents, right? Can you think of any other springtime Easter rodents that are relevant for this show?
My uncle's guinea pig infestation.
Close. Let's not get too personal.
The animal that is born out of this egg, a bunny rabbit.
Exactly, an Easter bunny rabbit. And what do rabbits do best other than chew up your garden and accidentally get hit by cars?
I think they love, if you really want to know, I think they love to fucking make babies.
I was going to say hop because that's the theme of the show. If that's where your mind's at, it's a late night show. We're good.
When they say like a rabbit, I just think they're talking about their family planning, which can also be part of Easter for you if you're highly religious. But we're sticking to hop, luckily. We didn't want to get too intimate with our comics. So You're right. Hop is the word of suggestion, inspiration.
I think I want to tell a little story about hopping, if that's okay with you, in the spirit of Easter. When I was a young child, my mom would always take my sister and me to the movie theater. That was our favorite thing to do, was to go see movies at the Framingham AMC 16. That was where it was at. I was a weird kid, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. We do comedy now. We were all weird people. I did this thing where when I was just, trying to have fun as a kid, we were walking to the movie theater and I was doing this thing where I was just like doing this weird little hop where my legs were like, coming out, and I was like doing these side sweeps, and my mom was like, Nora, stop doing that. Someone's going to think you need help and that you need a ride up to the front door of the movie theater. And so I tried to walk normal. But when I was a kid, you like to embellish your stories. And so I told that story to everyone. I told people that someone had driven up and offered me a ride based on this weird little hop I was doing. And I told that story for years, and people would laugh. They thought it was so funny. And then I revealed my senior year of high school to a couple of friends that never happened. That was just a story that I completely made up because I thought it would be more interesting. And it's my little hop story. The first thing that came to mind when I thought of the word hop was that little leg thing that I was doing.
I love a hop, skip, jump, and a reach. Like the story was made up, but it also was a hop. Yes, Nora, that's how we do it. These are the kind of stories we're looking for. Childhood lies, deception.
Stories about pathological lying children.
Got a fake mobility issue, and you're also 7, so it's kind of like we're dealing with it. Come on our show. Host the show. Tall Tale Short Tale at Tall Tale Short on Insta.
And Bella has been doing some really great advertising. She's doing the reels. We're doing the Canva ads. We're doing everything. So we got some cool shit on Instagram.
If Instagram wants to make TikTok their own thing, then we will be hopping on that algorithm according to this week's theme. So now you've seen what it's like when the comic tells a story and then we chat and have great banter. But the next part of our tall tale formula is making the story short. Nora, I know that part. You worked on that story for pulling it out at every party and cocktail banquet hour, but you still didn't filter it enough. I think we need to chop it.
I think you're right. I think it went on too long. How much time do I have to retell this story?
Nora, I think, to be honest, if you want to know I think that you should try to do this in 5 seconds.
I think I can do that.
My attention span.
All right.
Matt, can we have our awesome tech Matt?
Thank you, awesome tech Matt. All right, let's let her rip and go. I pretended I couldn't walk in the parking lot, and then I lied about getting offered a ride, and end of the 5 seconds.
That's what I remembered from the story. So
yeah, me too.
Proven method. Our short tail filter eliminates boring details quite effectively. Yes. Thank you, Nora. Great. I love it.
Thank you. I think it's time to publicly humiliate our next storyteller and criticize them about details. Do we have any fun facts about this person who's coming up? Do we know anything about them?
We know that I just completely said the person's name, but you don't know.
I already forgot.
Or other, right? So this next performer is a hilarious performer from the Boston area, doing improv, doing comedy, making us laugh, making us feel honestly seen and happy.
I love to feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome our first performer, Luke, to the stage.
Woo, 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 woo.
Hello.
Luke, how do you pronounce your last name? We need to get to know each other better.
Witherell.
Witherell. Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good last name.
That's pretty easy. I feel like some people overthink it sometimes, but it's kind of just how it looks, And I like that about my last name. It's
I tried
honest.
To Tarzan.
It's honest, unlike your storytelling, Nora.
Yeah, this is the second show in a week that my girlfriend has been in the background for, listening to me talk about being a pathological liar. So we're just getting it all out on the table.
She's like, is there something I need to know? She's like, do we need to have a conversation about your lying? Yeah. That's funny.
Was that really true when you said that you got picked up last week?
Yeah, where were you?
Luke, do you have any hop-tastic stories that you want to share with us for this Easter Saturday?
I do have a hop-tastic story. There are 2 really important pivotal hops in this story. But also it was inspired by this time of year. My mom's birthday is April 1, April Fool's Day. Not a joke. I am from comedy royalty, I guess, because my mom was born on a prank day. But yeah, so this was on my mom's birthday, and it was the only time I've ever gotten into a fight. And I was 8 years old, just a husky little boy. And it was a day kind of like today. I wrote this down as like the only, like, one of like two jokes I like tried to write for this. I was like, it was a cold day in April, which is pretty much the same as a warm day in March, which, like, that sucks. But so it was a cold day in April. It was April 1st, and it was cold like today. And I was at recess, right? I was at recess, and I, like, as aforementioned, I was a husky little fella. And I was always picked on at recess, right? I was kind of bullied. And my bully's name, his first name was Dan, and I think that's fine to say that because of there's a lot of Dans from my hometown. I won't say his last name because this is on the internet and people are weird, but it is a hilarious last name, so just picture a hilarious last name. Dan, hilarious last name. And he was always mean to me. And one day I was like playing, running around with a couple of my friends, and a couple of them were like, hey, let's go play wall ball. Did you guys ever play wall ball or like off the wall? Nora and Isabella? Yeah.
Off the wall.
A very self-explanatory game. You throw a ball at a wall. Which I also, the funniest thing about the fact that all the kids at school wanted to play wall ball was that they had just like shelled out, like someone had donated like $1 million for them to build a giant new playground at my elementary school, and we all just wanted to play wall ball instead. So I think that was like, I don't know, kids are ungrateful. But so I was like, yeah, sure, I'll play wall ball, right? And I was not very good at wall ball because, again, husky boy, not an outdoor kid, right? Big reader, right? And and I hear a voice. It's like, what are you guys doing? And it's of who should it be? But Dan, right? And I was like, we're playing wall ball, right? Whatever. And we start playing. I'm a little nervous, right? And Dan's like, I'm gonna play with you, right? And so it's going fine. But then the ball bounces way out, right? I go to get the ball, right? And the rules of wall ball is you got to throw the ball and it has to hit the wall, right? If it doesn't hit the wall, you're out, right? And I was like, oh no, that's it. That's an easy throw. And Dan goes, not for you. And I was like, wow, that's mean, dude. And I was like mad, right? I was really, really mad. But I was like, I'm going to show him. And I throw the ball, right? And the ball hops off of the pavement and doesn't hit the wall. So I'm out, right? That's the first hop. And Dan's cackling, right? Dan's laughing because he got in my head. And I'm like, that's it. And I hop directly on top of Dan. That's the second hop. Was me hopping onto Dan. And it was a fight the way two like 8-year-old losers would fight. It was just basically just me like flailing around on top of him for 45 seconds. And then like a recess aide like lifted us up top of each other. Also, like, we had like a recess aide who, like, I think every school had one of these where it was like a very like Mrs. Trunchbull-esque recess aide, who was there to like physically like discipline the kids. She was big, and it was tough. I liked her. She was really cool. But she was like, "What are you guys doing? You should be doing that. Go to the principal's office, right?" And that's when the story, like, this is when, like, I just want to like have this part of the story in there too. We started to go to the principal's office, and the principal of my school like hated children. Like, not like she was like a mean woman. She just did, like, she said to my dad once, she's like, I don't like working with kids. It's like, why are you doing here? She wanted to be an opera singer. She had wanted to be an opera singer, but she wound up being a school principal somehow. So like, she was like very like punitive. And like, I was really scared. Like, started getting really nervous. And we started walking down the hallway to her office. I was like, oh crap. Because I also knew that outside of her office, this is the other funny detail, we would have to sit in the purple chairs, which were 2 purple chairs she had outside of her office, just in the middle of the hallway, so that everyone at the school could like walk by and see like you in your shame, which is like some like fucked up. Like, I don't know if I can curse in here, I'm sorry, but like that's just so insane. Like I can't, like that's like I don't know, like dunce cap level, right? So we walked up and we sat in the purple chairs and we waited and waited and waited for Mrs. Evans to come out and punish us. Turns out she just like had gone home. Like I like asked later, I was like, was she at a meeting or something? And it's like, no, she just like didn't feel like being at school that day, so she took a half day. And so we lucked out, and we got in trouble instead with my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Donovan, who came to like reprimand me and Dan and talk to us. And I love Mrs. Donovan, and she loved me. She's like, you're a great writer. You'll make something of yourself someday. You'll be a stand-up comedian someday. And so she made me like write this whole essay apologizing, whatever. Went out to dinner for my mom's birthday that night. This is also how this like story like kind of ends, I guess. Like my mom was like, hey, like, like it's a birthday dinner with my 8-year-old son. Did anything happen in school today? I was like, oh yeah, like no one told you. Like no one like called and told my parents that I had gotten into like a fist fight at school. And I was like, yeah, I got into a fight. Like I didn't lie. Like I just got into a fight, and they were like, oh, like, okay, write your 5-paragraph essay, which was my only punishment. I got off easy, I guess. And then the one also like, that's the end of the story, but the epilogue is, after that, Dan never bullied me again. And it's like, I didn't like beat him up, but I think it was just like a weird, like prison, like respect thing where he was just like, what's up, man? I see you. Now he loves QAnon. So that's what happened to Dan. And that's the story of how school is like prison, and I hop.
And hop. That was awesome. If anyone has any questions for our wonderful storyteller, please drop them in the chat, and we will do a very formal, very professional Q&A.
Well, that's a very professional Q&A.
Luke's school, like we're gonna have a purple punishment chair, but the chain of command is gonna just completely lose anything. Yeah. No drama in the chat.
Yeah.
I want to know, are you surprised that he joined QAnon, or would you say it was a big hop?
No. Oh, good. I like that a lot. That's why you're the host. You're the pro.
Yes, right? It's the fun. That's why they. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No. I don't know. His dad. Like, I don't want to like get too much into his like background, but like he just had like a weird.
We need to psychoanalyze this kid.
Yeah. His dad was a cop and like was kind of a jerk. And I always like kind of felt bad because he is a nice guy. Like I actually like see him around now, like whenever I'm like, I don't know, like back in my hometown or whatever, like, and he's like, we have like some of the same mutual friends, which is why I like see him on social media. He's a nice guy. And like, we got along kind of in like older, like high school years and college, but like seeing the like shift, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. It's a little hot.
Yeah. Those were I regret asking that question because that was way too many details on this story. I think that tail was a little too tall, and now we need to cut it way short.
Yeah, right. You're right.
This kid, he questioned authority. He had bad taste in questioning authority, but we can get to the heart of this story.
Yes.
With our tall tale. Axe Paul Bunyan formula.
Do we have any props this time though, Bella, that you want to trot out for the camera?
Which came first, Nora? The storytelling show or the egg? Because I have three.
Amazing.
It's like since it's Easter, I'm like the crown of God.
Fine. So, do you want to introduce the eggs?
Yes. We'll have a Benedict. So we have these 3 holographic cool eggs here. They each contain a time code for a time for the comic short stories. So Luke, if you can just pick a color, orange, yellow, or blue, I'll open the egg, revealing the yolk of.
I'm gonna go with blue because it was my mom's birthday and it's her favorite color is blue.
Oh.
Yeah.
Or so she told you, right? April Fool's.
Maybe she was lying or pranking.
Yeah, she's not your mom.
She's not even my mom. That was the biggest prank of all.
So your time is.
Wait, before I do my short story, I don't want to cut off the host. I'm sorry, but Camster V asked a question.
We're gonna get to that once we're done.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
No, it's okay. If you guys
This is why I'm not the host. I'm sorry.
No, but I do
like deeply personal about Luke. Please throw it in the chat. Obviously be smart and appropriate. But
the answer to that question does contain vital information about Luke's popularity and class standing at the time that I think would really color the story in a way we like, much like eggs are colored on this holiday. So let me let you know you are going to be doing your story in 5 seconds.
Oh, another 5 seconds. We did not diversify the time codes enough, and that is our fault. But still, 5 seconds. Whenever you're ready.
All right, let's go. All right, I got bullied, and then I had a fight, and I wasn't bullied anymore, and school is prison.
Amazing. That was we get all the important points out.
Yeah.
So now that we have heard the story twice, I want a little bit more information. How many witnesses were there to the fight? A question from Hamster V.
Yeah. There was like 7 to 10. I don't know. It was like, the normal, like an average size wall ball game,
I was going to say, it's got to be a lot.
It wasn't one of those big wall ball games. Like sometimes you have like a big wall ball.
Minor league wall ball. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Attica schoolyard, right?
Schoolyard, right. No, but seriously, I mean, you've got usually some big players socially over at the wall ball. So like,
I know.
Anybody, did this affect your popularity?
I guess it was largely positive. Like I didn't have trouble from Dan as a bully again. And my friends also like never brought it up again. I guess maybe they were like a little scared. They're like, oh, that was a lot.
Oh my God. They were intimidated. Maybe your fighting style, like they didn't know what to say. They hadn't seen a hop and flail.
The old hop and flail, yeah.
They were like, oh my God, when my dad watches wrestling, they never. We need to hop and flail.
Well, Luke, thank you so much for being here. Do you have anything you want to plug? Anywhere people can find you online?
No, just my Instagram and my Twitter are at Lukey Waffles. That's Lukey with a Y and Waffles with a Z. I'm finishing my degree at Emerson College right now, and they do a cool little stand-up in the park right now at the gazebo at Boston Common, which is really fun and cool. So if you want to come see some Emerson students do stand-up comedy, it's 2, 5, and 8 every Friday. So
nice.
Whenever want to go see some stand-up, 2, 5, and 8 every Friday. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you so much. Luke. This is great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
I have my little clap because I love a gazebo event. I love to hear about the Emerson students. Don't go to Emerson College in, Canada. We're talking Boston, Mass. This is an international show, but we still reference the Boston events.
Oh, yeah. We love local grassroots comedy.
Grass-fed,
open range comedy, free range comedy. That's
happy bunny rabbits laid these eggs. That's why they're so shiny.
I think very sick bunny rabbits laid those eggs, but
maybe sick in the head. But I mean, this is the pinnacle of health. This oak would be.
Speaking of the pinnacle of health, our next performer slash storyteller is very talented in the art of acro yoga, which is that thing where like she's tried to explain it to me. It's amazing to watch. Someone like holds you up and then you do a pose. It's crazy. She also does like comedy or whatever, and it's great at that too. But
I care more about Dirty Dancing. Like once I get a guy to hold me up, I would totally acro the yoga. We gotta find out more about this person.
Please welcome acro yoga and Dirty Dancing star, Vally D. Hey!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my talk about specifically that one move in Dirty Dancing.
Yes, thank you.
I bet he hopped. I think he hopped a little bit, Patrick Swayze, to get to that moment.
And if he's not, he's hopping in heaven as we speak.
That's right, R.I.P.
Yes.
It takes the same core strength, I think.
Oh yeah. Vally, how are you? How are things? How's your life?
Thank you for asking me. I have never been better than this global pandemic. You?
It's so great. It makes you love it. Just life is awesome, right?
Oh yeah.
I have nothing to complain about.
I believe you. You're saying that very convincingly, like an Amazon worker on Twitter. I really believe the things that you're saying.
What a relief to hear someone coldly say what you wish they really meant.
I pee in a toilet and I have plenty of time to do it.
I am very happy in what I'm doing and I don't need help.
You need like the robot voice from my TikTok that it's like, I am happy to, like she says it so you don't have to actually be vulnerable anyway online. It can just be a video of you with like a robot voice.
Exactly.
Yes. Vally, do you have, I think we should hop along to the story portion. Do you have any hop stories you'd like to share with us?
I absolutely do. Oh, now you're little on the side, so now it's my turn. Oh, what a nice little background I have here for y'all. I didn't realize that would fit into the... Anyways, hello. A lot in my life. I've lived in a lot of places. I grew up in Boulder, Colorado, which starts our story today. The beginning of the story is set in Boulder, Colorado in like 2008. So I'm 15 and I'm basically in my first love. I'm in love with Jeremy Salvucci. Things are really hot. Things are really heavy. Not in like any kind of rated R way, but more like emotionally. And we were so passionately in love, but then we also had very passionate and very loud fights, which rather than like going into that, not that interesting. I want to speed way forward to a next phase of my love life and a different city that I lived in, which for a period of time, I lived in Shanghai, China when I was studying abroad. And by that time I'd had a few other love relationships. So I don't know how to do a story about the word hop. So it's really just about love and romance. But I did use the word hop in describing it. So I think you won't fire me. Anyway, let's continue before you have a chance. So I'm in Shanghai and I'm just like passionately involved again, not sexually or, in a rated R way, but emotionally very involved with a young man that I met on my study abroad trip. And this is the kind of love where like every interaction that you have or every interaction I had, I just thought about it for hours. So like he smiles at me, I think about it for hours. We share a joke, I think about it for hours. We both like laugh at how boring this study abroad meeting is. And then I just like think about our connection for a long time. But we were friends. And one night we traveled to Beijing with some other people and he and I were the only ones who had the energy to stay up all night. And we stayed up all night running around Beijing, enjoying being in a foreign country where nobody liked us. And while we were there, kind of an aside, but do you guys know those bike taxis? There's like a bike attached to like sort of a cab. So we used one of those to go from one bar to another. And I was drinking. That was when I still drank alcohol. And before I learned to leave strangers alone, I asked the taxi bike driver if I could drive the taxi bike. and he let me. I don't know why he did. Probably because I was not that threatening, although I think I was bigger than him, but whatever. Anyway, he let me. So I get on the bike, and just a spoiler, if you're ever in this situation, those bikes are just for show. There's a motor. The pedals don't even do anything. I was so disappointed. And I carry that disappointment with me. Whenever I see a bike taxi, I'm like, okay. Like, right. Anyways, I know it is a hard job and the service industry is very difficult, but in my head, I'm always like, that bike is for show. Anyways, so at the end of the study abroad program, I had heard a rumor that my friend who I was in love with was gay. And I was like, what a mean rumor, was my thought.
Oh.
And so the night before study abroad ends, I'm like, hey, so on Skype Messenger, I'm like, hey, so I heard someone told me that you're gay, ... And then he was like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you. So all summer long, I was like thinking and fantasizing about this guy who just like neglected to tell me that he had had a boyfriend for 5 years.
Oh my God.
But it's okay. I moved on, and at a different time in my life, a few years later, I was living in Germany. I was living in Munich, Germany, and I met another wonderful man, or so I thought. He was he was Brazilian, half Brazilian. He was half German, and he also spoke Spanish. So he and I together, and I haven't mentioned this on the show, but I'm Russian, and so I speak Russian. And in my head, I was like, oh my God, our kids are going to speak so many languages. They're going to speak English. They're going to speak Russian. They're going to speak Spanish. They're going to speak German and Portuguese. Like, we have to have kids. And then it turned out later, had never in his life read a book cover to cover, not once, just never, even though he had a master's degree. And I was like, very shocked. But the shock that I had absolutely paled in comparison to when I found out that he gave me chlamydia. I was like, hey, so I tested positive for chlamydia. You should probably get tested too. And he was like, you gave me chlamydia? I'm not exaggerating. That was his tone. And I was like, no, I didn't. You gave me chlamydia. We had another, a couple of weeks together, and then we ended up breaking up. But that leads me into another hop to a different city. In Boston, I met someone who I am still in a non-traditional, non-monogamous, nice, sweet relationship with.
Nice.
And I think the moral of the story is that, you're hopping around life. It may not always take you to a place that's comfy. You may not always be like thinking their sexual orientation is exactly what they think it is. But like, that's okay. And eventually, if you keep hopping along your path, you will get to a nice clearing. And I always tell this story. So thank you for letting me tell it on your platform.
Yay! Thank you.
Thank you, Vally. I think that's a great story. I'm glad that you brought it into the hoposphere.
Yes.
I don't even know where to begin. I'm intrigued by everything about these little vignettes from your life. Particularly, like, I think I'm still stuck on the gay guy study abroad situation. That stinks. Hearts get flaring on those study abroads.
Oh yeah.
That was a toughie. And like 5 years of being a boyfriend of someone and never bringing it up, like he could have saved me a summer of heartache, but
also,
yeah,
like,
when in Shanghai though, am I right?
You should tell his boyfriend.
I said when in Shanghai though, You gotta go with the flow.
That's what they say. Fall in love with
true.
the gay guy.
Yep, fall in
he's
love with the
married.
gay guy when you're in Shanghai.
I think they're married now, so it's probably
Aw,
good. Whatever happened was probably for the best.
yeah.
They're pioneers, but come on, what if the boyfriend is really into like he has one of those Cricut things where you can like put designs on a t-shirt and he never talked about that. He never talked about his boyfriend's passion. Like what if his boyfriend was like really great at swimming? Not even for
Isabella,
like
you're speaking my truth. What if he was really into crickets? I'm always thinking about that still today. What if
you don't even want to be with him? He'll be like, does Vally do comedy? I don't know. She gave me chlamydia. That's a different story.
He wouldn't even share me with his people in his life. And even if I did give him chlamydia, he'd probably keep it to himself.
Oh, so true. Which was the problem with the next guy. I think maybe you're going for these introspective poets that are not sharing outwardly. This is the tall tale short relationship therapy. With Nora.
Wait,
you all have a cocaine at the end.
I think my story was an appropriate length.
Oh, it was the perfect length.
I don't agree. I think we need to completely food process it. Forget shopping. It's going in the Cuisinart.
Before we shorten that bitch up, if anyone has any questions for Vally, throw them in the chat. You're gonna have like a very limited amount of time to give your questions because we're really gonna. I don't think those eggs have long time codes in them, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Hopefully you have it in your notes already and you can just like copy and paste it if you anticipated the topics, I guess. Because you're right. I only have 2 eggs and they both contain short amounts of times, economical amounts of times, good amounts of times. Would you like to pick now? Orange or yellow?
I would love to pick the orange egg, if you don't mind.
Okay. Why did you choose orange? Just wondering. While I open it.
Because I associate yellow with something I don't like.
No one likes it. Yellow is my favorite color. That's why I asked. Because people
I try to associate it with sunshine, but ultimately I don't look good in it. And before I associated it with sunshine, I associated it with something else yellow that I don't like. So
I totally know what you mean. It's whose skin like undertones is it working for? Someone really beautiful and rare who's not here tonight. So since you
it's Isabella.
Oh my gosh, it's me. I could wear a yellow outfit. I used to have a yellow shirt I got in Montreal. It was really fun. So the yellow thing, I'm here looking at my abacus, as you can tell. The orange will give you 8 seconds to tell your story.
That's lengthy.
It's like a Ouija board, as we discussed before the show. You'll just be guided by the time limit. You'll know what's right. Vally, whenever you're ready, you can just tell Matt to start your time.
Okay. I'm ready to start my time, Matt. When I was 15, I dated a boy. We fought. Then I fell in love with a gay guy. And then a guy gave me chlamydia in Germany. Oh my gosh, I did it, I think. No, and then well.
That was great.
That was all right. Thank you.
That was so healing and life-giving when you thought you did it and felt accomplished. That made the show worth more to know that somebody would feel like, oh, I did it. I beat Telltale Short And again, that was everything that I remembered from the story too.
Yep.
So I think the formula worked. You got it down to the perfect story.
It was beautiful. Do you have anything, Vally, that you want to plug? Any social media sites you want to advertise?
Yes, absolutely. So on social media, I can be found on Instagram and on Twitter with my handle there, Vally D the comic. I also have a burgeoning TikTok where I'm figuring out the platform. I would say I would not say that it's a branded like official situation, but on there I'm Vally D 1.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here and have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the show and thanks for having me.
Thanks, Vally.
Thanks, Vally. We love a beta TikTok.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not ready for full release yet. Cool.
Sometimes I'll have like dreams where I'll come up with ideas for TikToks and then they'll go viral and then I'll wake up and I cannot remember what they are. And I think it's because I'm not a member of Gen Z. TikTok just doesn't make sense to me.
Nora, where's Zillennials?
I know we're in between.
Yes, where's Zillennials? There's a name for it now.
We're special.
We had Webkins, but like 9/11 memory is murky, cloudy.
That's how you measure it.
For me. So cool. Well, now that I feel like more on top of like what to write on my next census, I think we have another storyteller, the recipient of the golden egg time.
The golden egg. It's not yellow anymore.
No, it's been charged. It's like charging crystals in the supermoon. It's been charged by the other comics' rejection of it. And it's gonna be great.
This upcoming storyteller is another host on 2MB. She hosts another show called Genuine Nonsense, and her name is Kelly MacFarland. Please welcome Kelly MacFarland. Hi, Kelly.
I was going to point out that egg went from yellow to gold, but I'm glad that we acknowledged it.
Of course, we wouldn't provide you with anything less.
I'm fine with any egg at all.
Less of a plot hole, more of a character growth.
Sure. Oh, the cops just went by your apartment, Nora. I hope you're okay.
They found me.
I think they were going around to the park.
Yeah. All right. Well, my story is going to be short, I think. Well,
let's hop to it.
Let's get to it. So, I had a few hop inspired stories that I was going to select from. And the one that I landed on was the following. So when I was in junior high, we had to do something called the Presidential Fitness Awards and tests. Okay. And so we had to go through these feats of strength and what have you, because it was just like it came every year. You had to do it since we were kids. So, and I don't know if they still do that. You both were talking about your Zennials. I'm not that. So there were certain things. There was like push-ups, sit-ups, chin-ups. This is back in the day when it was okay for them to be like, and the girls will do flexed arm hang, which was just like you held yourself in a thing. And then one of them was sit and reach. And this was the time for me to shine because I had been dancing since I was 4 and I was very flexible, super close to the ground, short stature. So sit and reach was going to be my game. Now, sit and reach takes place by sitting on your bottom with your legs in a V, an open straddled V. And it's all in the title. You sit and then you reach, and then it's measured how far you can reach. So you have to partner up because you can't be trusted, to be honest, on how far you can reach. So my partner was a boy in my class, and I'm not going to give his name because I feel like this is an open forum, as you called it earlier, international show. I don't want to out this story, and I'm not sure that he ever knew. So I sit and I reach and I'm shining star. I'm doing great. This is the only thing I can do. The flex arm hang for me, they would say, hop right up there and hold yourself. And I would be like, I just did. And they'd be like, well, no time. And I was like, right, I did it. And so with this, I just felt like a champ. I was like, I'm doing it. I'm a shining star. Well, then we switched places and I had to measure for Dennis. I said his name now. And now to measure for them, you have to be right in front of them. So sit, legs out, partners right in front, leaning down to the ground with a tape measure. And every time you get 3 chances, 3. And every time that he would reach, like a bunny out of a burrow, his penis would come out of his short leg and then go back in. It would come out and go back in. And then, of course, we had to do it 3 times. So it came out and then it stayed. And I don't think I had ever seen a penis before in the daylight. So I was kind of like, and I didn't say anything, but it would just kept hopping out and then going back in. And then he's like, I think I have one more turn. And I was like, nope, you're done. And then he got up and it was still out, which tip of the cap to you in 7th grade. And yeah, that was it. That was the a hopping good time where I got to see his bunny leave the burrow.
Oh, there it is.
Nice. We got some Groundhog Day themes there coming out to see
Yeah.
Shadow.
It's like a.
I don't think I've ever seen someone
winking.
play.
Was it winking at you?
No, it's because it has one hole.
Okay, gotcha. That makes a lot.
Well, they're always. I mean, they always look like this. You know what I mean?
It wasn't like, oh, I gotcha.
Right.
Surprise.
Yeah, it was wearing a top hat. I was like, what? You dressed
Normal.
up? No, it wasn't. But yeah, true story. And I don't know if he was commando and that was the issue. I have no idea. But I never could look at him the same way. I was like,
I'm speechless. I'm so sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry for him. I hope he and his penis are okay.
No harm, no foul. I mean, it's not, he wasn't like aware of it and like reaching and going, you see that? You know what I mean? It was very unintentional, I think. But I never said anything. I never told anyone like that at that moment. I've told many people since.
I do remember that flex arm hang. I did that as well. So I can imagine that maybe that got the blood pumping. It might not have been a top hat for social studies class. This might have been a PE thing.
There was a lot of stretching and reaching, and maybe that's, it brought everybody to attention. I don't know, but it was
utilizing every muscle.
I feel like that's what was going on. He was straining and
reaching for sure.
And reaching. And everything was reaching. Fingertips. All the tips were just reaching.
I think he's just really passionate about the presidential exercise regimen.
I was just going to say, did the president know what he was doing? Not to assume his pronoun, but did the president know what he was doing when he ordered this exercise?
Sit and reach? I don't know. I don't know what kind of what they were testing with the sit and reach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know.
Reach, I guess, but
I don't know. I mean, how far you can reach. Yeah, that's fair. However, how does that show how physically fit you are?
I don't know, because I was thinking. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
I was just going to say it's the only thing I did well on. I'm sorry. Go.
Yeah. No, but as a dancer, I mean, would you be not as a dancer, as a short person, would you be at a disadvantage because your body only goes so far?
No, because they're measuring it based on your own reach, I think. Right?
I think I completely failed this in school because I walked the mile, put it that way.
We also had to do a vertical. Now, this would have been the on the nose story to tell. We had to do a vertical jump.
Ooh.
It was the stand and reach. And I mean, I didn't even do it. I just would say, no, thank you.
Can I stand on a chair? That's what I would do in real life. I
feel like a lot of those things when you're a kid, they're designed to humiliate you. And I don't want any part of that. Thank you. Respectfully.
No.
All right. Tell me how many seconds I have to tell this story.
All right. While we do that, if anyone has any questions about Kelly or this person's penis, please put them in the comments.
Yes.
Let's open up. Let's crack open that golden egg.
Do it.
That little shell in there. You have 11 seconds.
Oh, God.
Nice.
I mean,
I won. That's a lot of seconds.
You did win, and I should have just given you 2 to force you to.
Oh, I can do it. I could do it in 2.
Listen, Kelly, you still are a dancer with the way you play that webcam with your fisheye. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Matt, go for it. We're doing the sit and reach, and every time he reached, his penis would come out of his short shorts, and it was thrice times I saw the one-eyed monster just peeping at me.
Nice.
It was thrice times just peeping at you, Kelly.
Thrice times peeping.
I feel like I should not have stressed questions about the penis in the comments, but one of our fellow storytellers, Vally D, would like to know, do you remember what it looked like? Do we have any details?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things like I shouldn't be looking at it, and yet I was, right? Because where else do you look? Like if your penis is out. And I think too, I was kind of the first, he had, thrice chances. So the first one I was kind of like, did I just see what I think I just saw? And then he was like, okay, here's my second one. And I was like, there it is again. That is a penis. And then the third one, I was like, I don't know if it'll come out again. And there it was. So yeah, it was, average penis.
I want to know why he only did the sit and reach 3 times. I feel like that's copping
You
out.
get 3 chances.
You get 3.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
He had to sit his reach by then.
Yes.
And
yes.
It was so sad. Right.
And it was reached.
It's just I should probably look him up on the social medias and send him a permission to tell that story, because I do tell it a lot.
Can I use your first and last name while telling this story about your penis?
That's correct. Yes.
Great
message.
message.
You mentioned that you had already told the story. Would you mention that you had already told the story many times? Like, hey, it's me from school. I do talk about your penis.
I might lie at the amount of times I've told that story and just be like, hey, would you mind? And then if he was like, please don't tell anybody that, I would say, I will not tell anyone else that. That would be my response, right?
I think you can do like a lie by omission thing using this night and just say, yes, I did, but it was only 11 seconds.
Also, I didn't use his full name, so he's fine.
I only use his name occasionally. It would take a Sharpie.
I did say it once, and then I was like, I'm not going to say his name, and then I immediately, I don't know if you noticed that, but I immediately said his name.
Damn. Well,
I'll tell fans, turn down your hearing aid.
Yes.
Kelly, do you have anything you want to plug? Where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can just, I have a website that's just my name.com, or you can go to my Instagram and find me there.
Well, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, have a beautiful evening.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha, Kelly.
That was a lot more. I think there was a lot more like chlamydia, penis stuff going on this show than usual. I feel like we're growing up as a show.
I think the egg thing made it kind of biological. Like we were.
I think the eggs were exciting people sexually, and that's.
Yeah, I do too. It was like the old green wing at the Museum of Science. Like they were pure pregnant naked woman statue. As soon as this sapphic symbol ? Popped onto the show.
Subliminal messages in Tall Tale, Short Tale, play it backwards, and we say Paul McCartney is dead. It's a cryptic message.
We just want people to know, but we're a little nervous to tell them. That's why we only say it backwards. It's a vulnerability thing.
Before we hop off, I feel like we need to talk about the 2MB Patreon channel.
Yes, I am so excited. 2MB just got a Patreon recently.
And I'm assuming that on this Patreon channel, there's only one tier of subscriptions, right?
Oh, no. Have you seen a diorama about building the pyramids? We got tiers, baby. We got tiers. I think that a rad tier is the biscuits and butter tier.
That sounds delicious.
Hungry. Second of all, it's only $20. And in addition to getting like the VIP access to like the 2MB Discord and 2MB media and some stickers, you also are donating to 2MB's show, Showing Up, which is like the social justice show. And so that tier is awesome. You get the 2MB perks. You get to throw some money to the social justice folks that are coming on the shows, or that show in particular. So forget bread and butter. That's our biscuits and butter, baby. But like you said, there are tons of tiers. There are tons of
much bread. So we want to share these biscuits and butter with all of you for a small fee.
Oh yeah. And I just love another show on this channel, Hello World, and it's a Monday morning show. So I asked Nora to also say with me our favorite shows, and it's no longer relevant, but like crack an egg. I'm thinking Monday morning. My other favorite show besides Quarantine Action Wrestling is Hello World. Nora, what is your other favorite on 2MB?
Okay. I have two other favorite 2MB shows. One of them is Queer Comedy Hour, obviously. Hosted, I think it's also on Saturdays. It's the last Saturday of the month, I believe, a little bit earlier than our show, but hosted by queer people, tons of queer people on the show. It's a great place to just be gay. My other favorite show is Run On 2MB, and it's one of my favorites because they had me on at one time and I just completely failed. And they were like, they said this, they were like, we've never seen anyone do this badly, but we appreciate the effort that you put in. So they're honest, they're kind. They do word association games. It's great if you want your improv kick. Highly recommend. 2MB, I don't think we said that. I can confirm that 2MB producer Ben Scaria said to me, no one has ever done this badly on the show before. Maybe those weren't the exact words, but it was what was heavily implied.
Behind closed doors at the studio, folks.
It was warranted. I did do. They had a girl on who was able to do like 57 to like 80 word associations in a row, and I got 5.
How do you get there? I mean, we're out here, those factory shots with the bread you see, that's where we have to work if we don't get the right word associations. But I love that we talked about each saying our other favorite show, and we both said two completely different shows.
This is the 2MB studio, but that's the 2MB factory, and we don't want to be sent there.
Yeah,
so subscribe to the Patreon where they send us to the factory.
Keep us out of the factory. And thank you guys so much tonight for being here for Tall Tale Short Tale. Follow us on Instagram at Tall Tale Short. Follow us. We actually have a TikTok at Tall Tale Short Tale. You can follow us on TikTok.
Follow us on everything. And if you look in the comments, 2MB has graciously posted the Patreon link. You can hop on there if you want your merch immediately. Please ignore my girlfriend getting maimed by my cat in the background. We'll just move that a little bit.
That's why we stay animated for the show. I also have a Maine Coon, so at any moment we could be scratched to death. It's like living in the woods behind a subway. Because I'm thinking about Maine.
Well, everyone have a great night. Have a great Easter. This has been a blast. Let's hop off to bed because it's past all of our bedtimes.
Good night, everybody. Have a good night. Thanks.